Your mom likes hobbits.
So not exactly the kind of corporate video you would expect from Ford Motor Company, but that's the kind of thing that took people off guard and really captured their attention.
Who wants to say live?
All right.
Here we go.
Welcome to the 2012 Ford Focus.
Go up the road.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're a beautiful young lady.
Thank you. No.
Yeah. Are you guys an item?
I'm this guy.
Yeah.
So, you notice it's a pretty smooth ride, right?
It is.
Yeah.
As I am a smooth operator, right, Lauren?
Yeah.
So, I mean, where do you see this going? Do you think this is like a long-term thing, or is it just for fun?
It's pretty new,
You're not
but it's
answering.
going
You're not
well.
answering.
I'm pretty happy right now.
Oh.
There you go. She's
You
pretty happy.
can always be happier.
Can you do me a favor? Can you just not talk about our relationship?
I'm trying to talk about our relationship.
What are you talking about?
Well,
Our relationship between the two of you.
yeah.
Leave that. Just leave that part alone.
Okay.
Can you do that?
So it's just, I should just assume it's understood that we're having.
Well, we're doing
A lot of assuming.
a lot of assuming.
Can't turn on park itself.
Yeah, why don't you park your mouth?
Whoa.
The brakes are so good on this car.
Yeah, right? Handles really well. Handles really well. Let's talk more about that.
Let's talk about handling. You get me?
See, there you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
On topic. On
I
topic.
think you're being very disrespectful.
I beg your pardon, sir.
Whatever.
I wish I had a little glove. I would slap your face with it, and we would duel on the field of honor.
I have to say I've never had two guys fight over me.
Okay, that's not easy.
A
That's
bit of a turn on. A bit of a turn on.
It's just kind of
Would you shut up?
You are goaded.
What?
You're making a bad situation worse.
You're right.
Hey!
Hey, language. We are in a Ford Focus.
That's probably taking it.
Thank you for the ride.
All right.
Oh, hey, thank you. Thank you. Ford
Lovely.
Focus 2012.
Lovely to ride with some of you.
So Doug is different, clearly different, but we've seen the results. I mean, we could see the verbatims that people were picking up on this. And they originally thought we were crazy for using a puppet to help introduce a new car. When in fact, people actually got into this series, they got into the humor, they got sucked into the whole thing. There were 50 videos from beginning to end. And ultimately, we actually saw people showing an intent to buy. The most important facts I'd like to draw out here are the fact that 61% of survey respondents said that they were more likely or somewhat more likely to consider buying a Ford Focus than before the campaign. And 5% of those specifically attributed their interest to Doug in their intent to buy. So on an ongoing basis, it's really a matter of standing out and being different. You know, we get tweets from people all the time that kind of compare us with our competitors, but this last point is that they like that personal touch. They like the humanity of it. Remember I said Henry Ford, Ford being the most human of automakers, is very consistent with what we're doing in social media. And just to remind ourselves that this is not all about selling. Dale Carnegie, of course, wrote about winning friends and influencing people. Well, that's what we're in it for. This is the long haul. This is not turning on for a campaign and then shutting off. In fact, we actually reached out to 150 bloggers in advance of the North American International Auto Show in January from 16 different countries, and we brought them in as members of the media. And that included 5 people from our Ford social site, which is a US-focused site right now, who were the top commenters, top contributors, top content producers, to reward them for their loyalty. They may not have had blogs, they may not have had great influence, but we wanted to bring them in. And they were there for the debut, the world debut of the Ford Fusion, which of course is known as the Mondeo over here. And they were so excited to be there. And they treated the opportunity very seriously. They brought their gear with them. They brought their rigs. We put them in front of executives like our Chief Marketing Officer, Jim Farley, our Executive President of the Americas Division, our Head of Product Development and Design, even our CEO. And we were astounded that people actually treated it like a real media opportunity, like a press scrum. And it, of course, demonstrated to our executives that this is a very, very important segment of the community who have incredible reach, by the way, as much as or better than some of their counterparts in the automotive industry. And these are influencers from tech blogs and green blogs and lifestyle blogs and video and everything. And they were absolutely thrilled to be there. We've had people come out and speak out against us, and what we do is we invite them in. In this case, we had 50 of the top women influencers at the Blog Her conference who joined us at the Chicago Assembly Plant in 2009. We put them through a full day of activities, meeting with lots of people, test driving our vehicles, seeing what it was that actually made us tick. Before the event, 27% of them had a positive impression of Ford. And these are some of the words they were using to describe us. After that day, it was a complete turnaround. These are the words they used to describe Ford. For those of you in the back who can't see some of the smaller words, exciting, luxury, value, sustainability, forward thinking, next car, we love that one. And that 27% of positive impressions of Ford was turned around to 96%. We're still looking for those two people that didn't comprise the positive mentions. So we can invite them back to another session. But that woman that wrote out against us completely changed her mind. Went not from negative to neutral, but from negative to completely positive. And her network started picking up on it as well, showing her level of influence. So, in conclusion, people say, can you sell cars on Twitter? Well, you can, but it's not as simple as I tweet, you buy. Okay? And we're trying to help our dealers understand that too. This guy says, I only bought a Ford because of Twitter. I'm serious. He goes on to explain, well, I bought the Ford because my interest was piqued via Twitter and a relationship created. And they make a great escape. Known to you here as the Cougar. It's all about the product, but he appreciated having that relationship. It really put it over the edge. And he goes on to explain, they built a relationship with me. I trust Ford. Attention and trust. Part of the global language of our social media strategy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I think, if I'm good and we're really fast, then we have time for maybe one or two questions. If people are quick and stick their hands up, otherwise I will press on. The mic's running down. An amazing balance of really human brand, grounding in the products, balance of metrics, kind of all brought together. Amazing stuff. The question, please.
Hi Scott, thanks for your time. Just a quick question. Obviously, when you're bringing in the likes of 50 bloggers from across the US to an event, that's quite a cost outreach for yourselves. Obviously now that you're the big success, that makes it easier for you, but how in the early days did you justify that sort of spend to the board?
It really gets to the ROI of what we're doing. And ultimately, we look at each program distinctly, and we look at what it is, what's our business goal, what's our objective up front, what are we trying to achieve, and we measure before and after. And we, in some cases, our efforts are really driven around awareness and perception and positive sentiment, and we can prove that out after we've done some of these programs. Of course, when it comes to intent to buy and purchase consideration, it gets a little more granular. And in some cases, when social media is so wrapped up in and integrated with some of our other efforts, it's a little more difficult to kind of prove it out. But fundamentally, because of the corporate culture of Ford Motor Company, I think the executive team and a lot of the VP level folks really embrace this stuff. They may not understand it completely, but they know how important it is, and they see the difference that we're making and the reputation strides that we've been able to achieve.
Fantastic. Right. I think we're going to press on time. Thank you so much again.
My pleasure.
Presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.